Hi, Tellius Tiber here, back for a quick little update for Die by the Blade. One of the games featured in my video, where I talked about two upcoming games that are going to be like the old fighting game on the PS1, Bushido Blade. So, a week or two ago, they launched their Kickstarter. Meant to get this video out earlier, but was having issues with my internet connection. In my original video, I brought up some concerns I had about the project. On the original video, the publisher Grindstone made a post that addressed quite a few of them, and now that the Kickstarter's launched, they've put out some new info, and there's a new trailer. So one of the concerns I brought up was about the Kickstarter itself. In their own post for the game, they said that the Kickstarter, whether it failed or succeeded in hitting its goals, wouldn't affect the release of the game, and that the Kickstarter was mainly a way for them to get extra income so they could do some extra things they hadn't originally planned. Now, while their Kickstarter goal is $20,000, which honestly in today's age doesn't seem like much for game development, I have a feeling that the main purpose of it is so they can go to private investors and just be like, look, we raised this amount, we've done it this quickly, there's clearly an audience for this game, so they can acquire additional funding that way. Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, for those who know what that is, that was a game where that was the whole purpose of their Kickstarter, was to show that there was an audience to private investors. Now, while I have not played that game, apparently it's pretty good, and that was also a Kickstarter one as well, obviously. So the other thing I raised as a concern were microtransactions, because the Steam store page lists in-game transactions, which on Steam, that's normally it. On their Kickstarter, they stated that there will be no microtransactions at all, and instead they're just going to do DLC releases post-launch, which makes sense. And I think what originally happened when they first set up the Steam store page is they probably put that on there because probably within the game itself there will be a menu where you can go to a store page to buy DLC. I can't remember which game, but there was a game on Steam where it had that bit listed on the Steam store page that there were in-game purchases, and what it actually meant was that there wasn't like microtransactions, like you're buying in-game currency and getting loot boxes or anything like that, but that you could just buy the DLC that was on the Steam store while you were in the game. That's more of an issue with Steam. I feel like they should have two separate categories, one that's actually like microtransactions and the in-game purchases. But with those two things addressed, for me at least, the project shows a lot more interest. They did put out a new trailer showing a few more snapshots of gameplay, and in my earlier video I talked about in the trailers how the animations seemed clunky and very stiff. In this new trailer, it looks a lot better. Fighting appears to be a lot smoother and faster, which is a good thing. So, aside from the new trailer, they also put out more information for the game on their Kickstarter as well. Apparently, they are currently trying to figure out how to balance and implement a system where if you get hit in the limb, like you can have the arm and the leg cut off and lose the fight there, but also have the possibility where, like in the original Bushido Blade, your limbs can be crippled and hinder your movement. There will apparently be a good bit of character customization on the Kickstarter page and the game's website, which they have updated with a lot of this new information, including story setting synopsis, backgrounds on the different characters. Do keep in mind, however, that the characters won't have their own unique movesets. It'll be like Bushido Blade, where the moveset is tied to the weapon you pick for the character to use. For example, if both players pick a katana, regardless of the character they play as, they're going to have the same movesets. They also updated the game modes. There will be a campaign story mode, centered around one of the characters, and they plan to add more as development goes on for all the characters. They haven't really given any more details aside from that. They've also listed that there will be some sort of challenge mode, and they also stated that some of the arenas will vary in size, and that they'll even include like jumping and climbing up and down objects in the environment. So we might end up seeing some fairly large maps with some sort of verticality to them. There would be a whole banner thing for you to design and change in game for the multiplayer. Pretty standard to what we've seen in other games. Now, the release date listed on the Kickstarter page is June 2021, so still quite a good bit away. They've hit $14,726 of their $20,000 goal. There's 227 backers, so they're pretty close. They have different tiers that you can pledge or donate, whatever Kickstarter calls it. There's a $2 one, which gives access to a forum for the backers. $10 one, which gives posters. Then it jumps up to $25. This will net you a copy of the game and in-game item, a bastard sword, as well as the 3 posters. It goes on from there, various things you can get. Although some of the bigger ones, like the $999 one that gets you an actual leather samurai mask, there's only 6 left. There's a $1,200 one that's only got 3, and going on from there. So it seems like the bigger ones actually got ate up pretty quickly. I think that's a good chunk of where the money they've already gathered is coming from. But all in all, the game looks way more promising. And if you want to read through their FAQ and the other stuff, there'll be a link to the website and the Kickstarter page in the description below. And just wanted to make this video to address the updated information that changed from my last video. So for more information as it releases for Die by the Blade or the other game covered in the video, Hellish Quart, like and subscribe. And if you're also interested in reviews, I'm starting to work on that too. Should have one up by the end of next week. I have been Tullius Tiber. Thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see some of you again soon.